Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel if you're a subscriber. If not, welcome to my channel. So about a month ago I came back from Disney World in America, and I've stayed at two moderate hotels before. I previously stayed at Coronado Springs, but this time around we stayed at Port Orleans Riverside. So I do have vlogs from that trip on my channel, so be sure to check them out if you want to check them out. So this video is basically a review for Port Orleans Riverside where we stayed. Hopefully anybody who is wondering what moderate hotel you want to stay at on Disney property, then hopefully this video will help. So as I have only ever stayed at two properties, I can't really compare, but I can say that out of Coronado that we stayed in last time and Port Orleans, I much preferred Port Orleans, purely for the fact of the theming of this hotel. The theming was pretty spot on. The first theming that I can mention is as soon as you get off the Magic Express, if that's what you're coming on, there's the lobby, which is all kind of done up like a boatyard kind of. So it's kind of like an old New Orleans type of vibe. And then on your way in you have the Port Orleans rug outside the doors. I'll insert a footage here. And then when you walk in, there's this big massive lobby, and then to your right is the reception, and that's kind of themed as like an old French type of Port Orleans. I can't really explain it, but the reception area was really nice. Like the theming in there was pretty good. So while you are waiting in the queue to check in, there is a little TV in the middle of the room and some little chairs, so if you have kids, that would be good for kids while you're queuing up. It keeps them busy at least. We didn't really queue that long in the check-in to be seen, but when we did get seen, this is one of the best things about Port Orleans. Let me tell you why. So as when we went there, it was me and my mum's birthday, like a couple of days before. So we were seen by this manager, I think he was a manager, called Brian. And because my mum has a bad back before we went away, and she has a bad back anyway, so my mum mentioned to this Brian manager that she had a bad back. I mentioned that it was our birthdays, and then lo and behold, this saviour of a manager called Brian put us in a royal room. Originally we was put in a bayou room, which was like way far away from the lobby, and we didn't really want that because of my mum's back. So it did like a lot of, you know, he went off and did a little faffing around on his keyboard, and then he come back and he told us we had a royal room, so we got a free upgrade and we didn't even have to pay for it. So that was kind of like a great birthday gift from Disney in itself. That was a great start to the holiday, that we got upgraded to a royal room. I will show you a clip here from the royal room, which I can't even explain how good the theming was in the royal room. As soon as you walk in, there's these big massive curtains and this massive lampshade that looks really nice, and then you obviously have the beds and then the headboard that's got the fireworks on it. There's posters up on the wall of all the prince and princesses. You got this big cabinet that's just, the theming of the cabinet is just beautiful. And then you've just got all like the little nooks and crannies, like the Aladdin's rug on the floor, the big massive poster of Tiana on the side. Once you walk into the bathroom, there's bathroom sinks that are shaped like Aladdin's lamp, and the bathroom was pretty huge. It had a nice shower curtain rod, and just everything about that room was just so themed, and it was honestly the best way to start the day. So as for the grounds was just so peaceful. Like when you walk across the bridge, like the wooden bridge that we walked across pretty much every day to our room. It's like you go across the river, and the river or canal or whatever you want to call it, the water is just so flat and so calm, and you just look at it and it's just so peaceful, and it's all green, and the river's up under you, and the bridge is nice. And the fact that you just walk across the bridge to all these mansions, that's where the royal rooms are, in the mansions that is like on the right hand side of the bridge. And the fact that we got to stay in a mansion in the royal room, that just topped off the whole holiday. So as for food, I can't remember what the restaurant was called. I think it was called like the Boatyard or something like that. I have to say that the restaurant didn't seem very themed to me. I don't know why, it just kind of had like this big boat, and it didn't look finished. But to be honest, I didn't really look up, so I didn't really see it anyway. So I didn't really see much theme in the restaurant, as opposed to Coronado Springs, that was very Mexican themed, and like it had habaneros and just Mexican music. And I much preferred the restaurant at Coronado Springs to Riverside, but the food was nice though. Like they did like a burger called the Bayou Burger or the Swamp Burger, and they did do food themed to the hotel, so like Riverside food and like New Orleans type of food. The best thing for me about Riverside is that you can get a river cruise from Riverside to Disney Springs, so it saves you having to get a bus there. I mean, if you prefer to get a bus, then by all means get a bus, but I definitely recommend getting the river cruise, because I loved getting the river cruise, because it is basically just like a little boat trip. So you set off from Riverside through the bridge, and you stop off at the French Quarter so you can see the French Quarter grounds, and then from the French Quarter it takes you on like a little tour through the swamp, and you can see like the Sarasota Springs villas that are in the forest, and then you just get this overlook view of Disney Springs. If I can put a clip in here to show you what it is like as a little overview of Disney Springs as you're pulling in, then there you go. But I definitely recommend the river cruise, as well as the scenery that you get from the river cruise. You do get the boat person, whatever you call it, the boat driver. You can get ones that are very informative, but you can also get ones that just basically drive you. So I think we had like two. We had two boat drivers that was very informative. One of them was called Clive, and he was quite funny actually, and he was very informative, like on each little bit, like every like I don't know, mile or so or anything that he just spotted out. It was like, this is this and this is this, pretty much the whole way from Riverside to Disney Springs. So that was really good, because it was like having a personal tour guide. And then there was this other woman, I can't remember her name, but she was quite informative as well. So always check out for those if you have a river cruise. Hopefully you'll get a driver that's informative. So there is a bar that you can go and sit in, and I think it's like every couple of days. There is a man named Bob Johnson, I think he was called. He plays on the piano at the River Roost bar in Port Orleans, Riverside. And he just plays on the piano, and he just plays like Disney tunes, or he'll pick out where people are from, and then he'll play a song matching to where they are from. It was okay. I mean, me and my mum waited 2 hours to see this Bob Johnson. I wasn't overly impressed with him. Like, he was okay, but I wouldn't watch him again. And we did have to leave early because he just didn't interest. So towards the end of the holiday, I do have to say we did make a complaint about a member of staff in the River Roost bar. I don't want to go too much into detail with it because that's the only thing we had to complain about. Other than that, everything was perfect with this hotel. Like literally, the bus transportation system from the hotel, it was good. You know, the grounds, the river under you, how peaceful it was. We never really used the pool, which is kind of gutted about, but we just never had the time. You know, the room, we got upgraded to the room. I mean, you can't get better than that. You know, we originally had a bayou room and we got upgraded to a royal room. You know, I was saying for months how much I wanted a royal room, and then we got one, so I was like, yes. But other than all of that, we did have a rude member of staff when we went to the bar on our last night. So we complained about him on the last day when we was checking out. But there was these two people that we spoke to behind the reception desk. I can't remember the names. I remember the manager was called Zach, and there was another man who were really friendly. But I can't remember his name, but he was really funny. But those two, we did actually complain to them, and they did actually take it on board. And as soon as we'd finished complaining, this Zach manager, we saw him go to the beverages manager and just like have a word with him about this rude member of staff. I don't know what happened with it, and I'm not really bothered what happened with it. I didn't want the guy to get in trouble, but you know, you pay so much to stay in the hotel, so you at least expect to be treated nice by the member of staff, considering you are paying all this money to stay there. But that was just the last day though, so that was just a little downer. But other than that, it was perfect. So if I had to say, for anybody who is looking at staying on Disney property and you want to stay in a moderate hotel, then I would definitely suggest Port Orleans Riverside. Maybe even French Quarter. We never got a chance to visit French Quarter, and I'm sure that it is lovely, but we stayed in Riverside and I really liked Riverside. Also, with some hotels at Disney, they do have an outdoor cinema some days, and me and my brother managed to catch an outdoor film while we was there. I think it was Goofy movie that we watched, and it was really good, you know, because like it's nighttime, it's a bit cooler but it's still warm, so it's nice to just sit outside while it's still warm and watch a film on a big screen. And once you get there, they give you a towel so you can sit on the grass with it, and they also offer you a big bag of popcorn. Like the bag of popcorn is pretty big. I, being the fool that I am, said that I didn't want the popcorn, so therefore my brother got a big bag of popcorn, and I said no, I could have just took it back to the room. But the fact that they offer you a towel and popcorn to watch the film is just great. And we also saw a little Disney bunny that come and sat with us. But I would say, all in all, if you're looking for a nice moderate hotel at Disney, then I would recommend Port Orleans Riverside. You should definitely check it out and you should definitely stay. And if you want to be upgraded to a royal room, I guess ask. I don't know, we didn't really ask, but we got upgraded anyway. But I'm sure the bayou rooms are just as nice. But yeah, so that is my review. If you want to see us staying in Riverside, then check out my vlogs. You'll see plenty of footage for the Riverside in my vlogs. I've inserted some footage on here so you can see anyway. But yeah, hopefully this video has been helpful for you. And if you are staying there, or if you think that it is helpful, please like the video, comment if you have stayed before, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!